Hi, y'all. It's Big DT. That's my Jen impersonation.
Hey, y'all. Jenny. Hey, y'all. Hi, I'm Jennifer. Big DT, if you like what you see, like and subscribe.
And I am still Bill.
Still Bill.
Still Bill or Billy G.
And I'm glad to be here.
Yay.
Hello, everyone.
This is episode 6 for us. And we're still in the
giving season,
holiday season. So I'm in my sparkles.
You look like an ornament. You look like a beautiful ornament.
Thank you.
I look like a Christmas tree.
You look good.
You look like
both
a pillow.
Of you. Yeah, you're all green and
jazz hands. Yes, a fluffy pillow.
I should have dressed as Santa Claus. I know. I didn't realize how festive we were going to be.
I know.
Where's your beard and your hat?
That would have been something I should have.
We did get a Santa picture yesterday. So pop up the Santa picture right now. Ding, ding, ding.
When we get it on Tuesday.
Yes.
But we went to the tree lighting and
it was fun.
Snyder Plaza. Yeah. And we sat with Santa and you'll have to see Bill all cozied up in his lap. It was so cute.
Well, you tried to get me to do that.
Well, I remember him getting a spanking
I got to watch out
Santa.
for Jenny. She's always leading me into trouble.
Yeah.
I'm like, there's a nice spot for you right here on Santa's lap.
And Santa goes,
I don't mind.
Yeah, he goes, that's what really creeped me out.
He said Mark Cuban sat on this knee last week.
That didn't help any either.
I know. If it's good enough
Sorry,
for Mark, it should be good enough for you, Bill.
Well, it's not my thing.
That's so funny.
That's all right. I'm just teasing. He did not sit in Santa's lap. None of us did.
Let's talk about the lights at Christmas in the Park Cities. The lights are wow. Especially at Highland Park Village. So beautiful.
Over 1 million lights.
Over 1 million lights. And they throw them away afterwards because it's easier for them to throw them away and get new lights than it is to
roll them up. Can you imagine?
And it is like a little rodeo drive. It is. They have done quite a wonderful job. When I moved here in 1983, Highland Park Village had 7-Eleven. I think it had a dime store. And it is like a rodeo drive. It is beautiful. They've done an incredible job.
I love it. My kids always give me a hard time because I always start a story like that. My kids are giving me a hard time again. But when the seasons change, I always talk about the flowers and the decorations at the village for like the seasons changing in Dallas because I'm like, oh, it's mum season. Oh, the lights are out. Oh, the pumpkins are there. Oh, the wagons are there. Oh, the Easter bunnies are there. So it's like whatever the village is, and then all the houses kind of have their own little version of different flowers, but they all kind of are in sync with the village. Like watching the seasons change with the village is like fun.
It's like a work of art in itself. It's quite gorgeous. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's so
when
true.
it was, Kansas City has a bone to pick with us on this, but it was the first drive-up retail center in the United States.
Wow.
Yeah.
Highland Park Village.
Yeah. And then I can't remember the name, maybe one of y'all know it, of the big shopping center in Kansas City that they claimed they were the first. I think they opened just about the same time.
What do you mean drive up?
No, like a strip mall concept where you're walking around on the outside as opposed to like a mall where you're walking around on the
I always feel like I'm giving history lessons, but
you're a history guy.
You're our history guru.
Well, the car, everybody had a car by then, right? Snyder Plaza, the same thing. And that was the big new thing. And I guess a lot of people open shopping centers like that, but like we're number one, we were first, right? And but it was them, and I wish I could remember the name of the shopping center in Kansas. I'm sure there's a million people that know it, but I just can't think of it right now. It might be called the Arboretum. I can't remember what it's called. But yeah, so anyway, it does have that beautiful Spanish architecture. And, I remember some of the men that developed it that were still around when I was a little kid. I think they liked my mom. They used to talk to my mom a lot. I remember that. Adventures with Sarah, my mother, Sarah. But they had their offices there. And it was like a mom and pop place. Like I remember the big deal for us back in the 60s was to go to the drugs. There were 2 drugstores that had, fountains, where you could get milkshakes and hamburgers and all, sort of like the old Highland Park.
I miss it.
Pharmacy.
Bring it back, please.
Yeah. Well, it was very popular, back then. And that started back in the 30s, and they'd give us these coupons, and if you bought so many school supplies at one of the stores, you'd get free malts. And that was
I love a good malt.
A lot of fun. And then the 7-Eleven was on the corner across from Bradfield.
I love a good Slurpee.
Yeah. And 7-Eleven.
And I like a good big bite.
Your family, your great granddaddy started 7-Eleven.
I know.
Tell us
so
about.
good.
You've never told us.
I live on Slurpees and Big Bites.
Yeah.
Your great
Chili
grandfather,
cheese dogs are my friend.
like your great grandfather started 7-Eleven. Tell us. We don't know. Like it was started as an ice.
An ice house, and then he realized that the people in the neighborhood needed more goods than that. So then they started selling more goods, and then the hours were from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Amazing.
So yeah, it started out as ice. That's why not icy, Slurpee. Icy's blasphemy.
How did that work exactly? So people had like a box that you could put the ice in that you put the food in instead of a refrigerator. So that's how they kept the food from spoiling and cool, right?
Right.
Talk about another.
Yeah, like in the 20s.
Talk about another. I mean, like putting Dallas on the map. 7-Eleven came from this young lady's great granddaddy. That's kind of cool, girl.
Yeah. Well, it is cool. It's a lot to live up to because like, how do you compete with a legacy that it's like all over the world, right? But also it's like such a blessing because you know you come from greatness.
Yes,
which is fun.
And you're
which is fun to know.
Just like your great grandfather, you are an incredible creator. I've watched you create.
Entrepreneurship
a lot of that
fun and
drive
gumption and just kind of go get it.
Yeah, go.
The world is your oyster. Go get it. Like that's what I've tried to teach my children. It just all starts with an idea, which is so cool.
Yeah, very true.
He's just like, let me help people refrigerate their house. Or
totally.
Not before
These
refrigeration was. And then, let's bring in eggs. Let's bring in milk. Let's bring in, and then Sitco oil was a big collaboration that my granddaddy did.
Oh.
When instead of a convenience store, then they started to become more gas stations.
Right.
Got it. A gas station.
What year was that?
I think it is in the 80s or 90s. I don't know.
Okay, yeah,
so
my
grandmother.
The C-stores. They used to call them C-stores. It was like I don't know why they called them that, but it was, you have a gas station.
Convenience?
Yeah. Was that his idea or did a gas station reach out and say?
Well, I don't think they were the first ones that had gas, but it was just a big Sitco oil was
your person.
Like the gas.
Well, I have a kind of a story like that. My dad owned all these Gulf Anyfill car. He created this Anyfill. You get a free car wash with Anyfill up, and he had a bunch of them around Dallas and Fort Worth, like more than he could handle almost. And he ended up like giving some of them back to Gulf, but it really started making a lot of money, like when they had their oil embargo and so forth. And as it made more money, Gulf started taking the stations back, and ultimately they got rid of that relationship because they wanted to have the convenience stores, which we take it for granted now. Like most gas stations have a convenience store, but that was a way they could, other than car washes, that they could make money and make them profitable because it didn't make that much money on the gas a lot of the time.
Highland Park Village in the Christmas season.
I did want to talk about Highland Park Village a little bit more to kind of get back to that. Then Ray Washburn, and I guess the Hunt family money
did an incredible job.
Yeah, they bought it from Henry Miller.
Yes, and made it into like Dallas's Rodeo Drive.
Yeah, that was the mission. That was absolutely the mission, and they've succeeded.
A good job.
Yeah, I mean it is pretty much the same shops you're going to see in Beverly Hills. Mm-hmm. And they made it. It was always a beautiful structure architecturally, that Spanish architecture, the stucco, but they've just made it more and more upper end. But they had something good to start with, something very good to start with. And the Miller family owned it before, and it was a little more status quo back then.
No, I thought it was great then as well.
But it was just different,
Yeah, it was just different. It was just your family center.
It was more your neighborhood family center, which same was true as Snyder Plaza, But
it was still, as far as the shops go, they were still, I would say, like a more elevated experience than Snyder Plaza.
For sure.
I mean, even
Harold's,
though Harold's
we had, remember they had that drive-through bank,
but it was shoppable.
Mm-hmm.
Remember the Polo Shop was a big deal.
Oh yeah,
for years.
They had an Abercrombie there, and they had, what was that? It wasn't Mervyn's. It was started with an S. They had a shopping center there for a moment. Like, I can't remember.
Is it in the Village we're talking about?
Highland Park Village.
It was a store.
I bought my first bra there. with Hannah, my best friend growing up. It was like
Singers.
Sanger Harris.
Yes. Yeah.
Sanger Harris.
Oh, yeah. I got my first pirate cowboy boots.
Oh, yeah.
Roy Rogers cowboy boots.
Oh, yeah. I got my first little mosquito holder when I was like 9. Sanger Harris.
I know, but it's not the same experience. Now they're like, oh, I got my first Chanel bag there.
I know. It's like, what?
So it's different than like a first bra or first pair of boots or whatever.
What happened to
so
Sanger Harris? Out of business?
Yeah, I think I'm not exactly sure, but I just think they kind of faded away. Mm-hmm. The other interesting thing, before Neiman's was in North Park, they had the downtown store that we talked about in the last episode and, love going to. They had, there was a Neiman's in Preston Center, kind of where Tootsie's is, and all that. I guess they tore it all down eventually, but remember they had a Santa Claus there. That's where we go see Santa Claus, and they had a train that was out in the courtyard that you could ride during Christmas time. Yeah, it was
So there was a miniature Neiman Marcus where Tootsie's?
It was a little bit smaller, I guess you would call it that way. But it was in Preston Center. Yeah.
That's nice.
Mm-hmm.
That is cool.
And so, anyway, the lights are incredible there, and the lights all around the Park Cities. And from the Village, you can take not the sleigh ride, but the
carriage ride with the horses.
See all the lights.
We should do a carriage ride.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and talk to us about St. Michael's Women's Exchange.
St. Michael's Women's Exchange is in Highland Park Village, and we just looked it up, and they've been in number 5 Highland Park Village since 1958.
Wow. And it started off as a consignment store?
Yes.
For people struggling with job security, and then...
And it's 1939. I pulled up the website here. The story...
okay. But the address, they said.
Okay. The new address. Yeah, it says our story dates. This is kind of amazing to me, though. Back to 1939 when the Women's Exchange opened in Highland Park Village as a consignment shop. I mean, that was basically the year it's been there ever since the village opened up. And it's
then
still
what
there.
Year did the Junior League purchase it to make it a nonprofit?
I don't know.
Yeah, the Junior League bought it.
Scroll down.
Scroll down. Can you see it or?
And they give to a lot of organizations.
Right. Yeah. So
after
my grandmother had 7 children. There's 23 grandchildren. Now it's like exponential how many great grandchildren. My grandma and granddad are both passed away, but Mom Peggy, she would go to the St. Michael's Women's Exchange to wrap all the presents for everybody in the family. And you pay $20 for the gift wrapping. And the St. Michael's Women's Exchange is I think it's one of those,
is it
for-profit, nonprofit, but they give back. So this year they've given $500,000 to all the different organizations. And Bill, you have the page that shows all the different organizations that they benefit. So if you do not like wrapping your own presents, you just drop off your gift. I'm sure there's a wait, and then you pick them back up. But it was so special because the bows are so beautiful, and you get like a little ornament as part of the decoration in the bow, and there's.
I was looking at I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, you're fine.
But I was just reading this. I didn't really pay that much attention when we were talking about it earlier, but it says it did open in 1939, and then a few years later, the Junior League bought it and owned it all the way to 1958, and then the women of St. Michael and All Angels Episcopal Church bought the store from the Junior League for $1,500.
$1,500.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Big price.
That's wild.
Inflation lives in Dallas.
Yep.
Yeah, but it does have a really interesting. I had no idea it was that old. And it is a special experience to go to. It really, really is. And yeah, the charity, I'm not on that page, but I'll go back to it in a minute and let you know what I see there.
Yeah. So many great Dallas organizations. So we were talking about win-wins during the gala season, and this is a win-win. You, whether you get a gift there and then have it wrapped, or if you just drop off and say, time's more important than money and I want to give back, then have them wrap all your presents. Yes. And then you get something, and Dallas benefits and all the organizations. The Women's Genesis Shelter that we had talked about was on there.
The list is,
Dallas. You want to read some of them? Please.
Well, yeah, I'll start with, it's interesting. It said in May of 2025, $500,000 was distributed via 78 grants to the following agencies. And there is a list a mile long, but it's like starting with Agape Clinic, AIDS Interfaith Network, Key AIDS Service of Dallas, American Friends for the Episcopal Church of the Sudans. Boy, that's interesting. If I'm reading that right. Association for Independent Living, Austin Street Center. And let me go down, get out of the A's. We'll go down, toward the end. Transition Resource Action, Treasured Vessels Foundation, the Visiting Nurse Association. I mean, it's very broad ranging. White Rock Center of Hope, Wilkinson Center.
Yeah, and it might be like the process that Jen's sister Amy was talking about, where they take submissions somehow, whether it's online or you have to contact them. And then there's probably a vetting process where they look at your financials, see how you're giving, what you're giving, and maybe there's like an interview because, I mean, it sounds like they have grants that they give away. So I don't know how that works, but I'm sure it's similar to other nonprofits. But whether you want to get your name on the list or if you just want to buy something and help contribute, it's just like all local.
And their wrapping is just amazing.
It's gorgeous.
It's otherworldly. If you want to have a beautifully wrapped gift.
You can put the little picture on there. It's under a shop. And then it's
I would like, I'm actually going to have my gifts wrapped like that this year.
Oh my gosh. It's
only $20 or is it $20 per gift?
Per gift.
I think it's per gift. Yeah.
Yeah. Cause you get that cute little ornament and the bows are so, wait, is that the wrap one?
Which one are you talking about?
Hold on.
Well, if you're, I'm going to do that.
Just for maybe one or two, or maybe,
yeah.
Just say, but anyway, so yeah, I did do the carriage ride with the kids last year. It was good, but driving around is so much faster. I think Chocolate Secrets on Inwood, if you go on their website, they have a bus. And you can have like chocolates and BYOB.
Oh, I love I'm a chocoholic. I love
that's what you said. You are a chocoholic. But I kind of wanted to try the little chocolate tours too. There's like autobus tours, and they'll take you around the park cities also. But then they also have one.
You buy me some chocolate. I'll take you around.
Oh God! I don't want to dig deep into that.
Y'all are weird.
And then
I'm just gonna say it. Y'all are weird. Your inside jokes are weird. I'm on the outside, and y'all are a good kind of weird.
I didn't get that one.
Yeah.
So anyway, that you can do like a public tour where there's like obviously like strangers on the bus, but then you can also book private, and it's not too bananas. I think it's like $35 a person, and then you can ask them if you want to stop along the way. Just say, "Oh, can we get dinner here at Mi Cocina?" and then go see the lights over by lake or lakeside, and then or you can go. Anyways, you can have multiple stops if you do a private tour. I want to try that one. I haven't done it before. I think it's through Chocolate Secrets, and then you can purchase. Last year when we did the carriage ride, you could purchase like cider, hot chocolate, or spiked chocolate, and then a little care package of desserts, or I think cheese and crackers from Siddell's. So Siddell's, I think, works in cahoots with the carriage people for the Highland Park Village.
Oh, for the village. Okay.
And Siddell's has really good build your own bagel sandwiches. They have like a bagel tower, with all the fixins. You can build your own. That's my daughter's favorite thing there.
Well, one thing I always think of that if you book that, you have to book it in advance, and you really don't know for sure what the weather's going to be like. And you're either going to be like dressed as warm as you possibly can, or you may be wearing a Tommy Bahamas short sleeve shirt. That's Texas weather in December. You really don't know. I remember I played golf a couple of years ago on December 31st into the new year, and it was 82 degrees. And then 3 days later, it was 20 degrees. So that time of year, the weather plays a big part of what the experience is like.
Yeah,
that's so true. But I've had a few experiences with the horse-drawn carriage, and it's really very fun and special. You want to do it at least once.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
I mean, to think that's how everybody got around. I mean, it's pretty slow, but you take in all the sights and the smells. It's very pleasant.
Well, it just shows you how intelligent man and humans are, because I remember reading something like people were like, what are we going to do with all this horse crap or horse poop, and then someone invented the car. And it's so exciting to live in today's day and age because we've seen so much evolution, and it's just exciting to see. Like, I'm still waiting for the Judy Jetson car. Is that ever going to happen? Maybe.
I think with the drone thing, I mean, they just have to put a little lid on it.
The Tesla kind of sounds like that car.
I know, right?
You know, that brings up another...
Like the drones that drop off your goods.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just have I think so.
Yeah. Well, as a matter of fact, I noticed that when I was downtown, there are these, I don't go downtown that much. There are these drones. If you look on, my brother mentioned it, and I haven't noticed that. I looked for it, and they are like, they're like at the, walking on the sidewalk. I mean, I don't see how they can do a lot of those because you trip over them everywhere. They're kind of low to the ground and they deliver things, and they are using them in downtown. You know, one other thing, like I think I had this idea, so I was researching, you know, about Y'all Street and so forth. I think it'd be interesting someday in the future, just an idea, and I'll get it on record here, to do a show about all the grandiose plans. The next big thing that's going to happen that didn't happen or didn't go so well. I mean, Dallas has a whole history of that. You know, I saw something that said a quote somewhere recently that said every tradition started as an experiment. You know, and we do that on this show a lot. You know, we're trying different things, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, and we move on to the next thing. But I think it would be interesting to talk about. You know, all the grandiose projects that didn't happen.
I know, it's a fun research for you, and we're going to learn a lot. There's this saying, or this little meme that's going around Instagram, and it says, in order to be asleep, you have to first pretend you're asleep.
So true. Act as if is what it means.
And you don't think about that. But you know how they say fake it till you make it? Well, I think that's like the new way of saying fake it till you make it.
Actors and
so you just like have to try things out.
Fall in love on set all the time. Why? Because they're acting like they're in love. You act as if, and then it becomes. Right?
Act as if.
Act as if. Yeah.
Right.
It happens a lot, actually.
It does. So you just act as if you are successful. Act as if you are, you know, I'm acting as if I just already sold this home. And you did just sell your home, and the real estate market is picking up.
Yeah, I sold a home, not my home.
Yeah. No, one of your listings. Yep.
Good job.
Yes, yay. Now we just got to close it. In real estate, life doesn't begin till the deal closes, is the old saying. So we're hoping the deal closes. Fingers crossed. You never know. Do you get to the finish line?
True. Right.
I think about this business.
Texas trying out new things, and some will flop, and some will succeed.
If you don't try, you know.
The other saying, you know.
Throw a bunch of stuff against the wall, something's going to stick.
Right. And sometimes things are lessons.
Shoot at everything, it flies, and if it falls, claim it.
Yeah, exactly. I like that saying a lot.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Wait, what did Gretzky say?
I don't know.
Shots not taken. Wait, what is that? What's that thing about?
It's ringing a bell, but I don't know.
You can only score if you take a shot. I don't know.
There's
something like that. Yeah. Google it, Bill. You with your computer is so fun for me today.
I don't know where to even start on that one.
Gretzky, shots taken, quote.
Oh, okay. Well, I'll see if I can find it.
and then it'll come up. I think it's, I used to tell it to my kids all the time. We've been talking so much about blessings and organizations and traditions. And I made, if you are not feeling blessed, or if, you know, you're alone on the holidays, or you're suffering in some way, then we also wanted to talk about.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
You miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Right. Thank you, Google.
Yeah. That's a very Texas quote, even though he's Canadian.
Yeah. I ran into him one night at Acadoro. You remember Acadoro Bar? I used to love to go there. And, you know, one thing that shocked me was he wasn't very big. You know, he was not as, I imagined it to be this really big, huge dude, but.
I know, because they're like on skates.
I guess
so. They looked like giants.
I was shocked how he wasn't a super big guy. Yeah, like Roger.
Like, wasn't that tall, or wasn't that like girthy?
But neither, you know. Yeah, he was kind of thin, and he wasn't, but, you know, I would imagine he was like this really tall dude, you know, but he wasn't. Roger Staubach's another guy. I don't see how he endured all those hits and everything, because, you know, he's fairly tall, but, you know, he's fairly thin at the same time. You know, I don't see how he did it. Of course, he avoided a lot of hits, was part of his secret.
Right.
Yeah.
One of the, I forgot what benefit this was for, but I did go to this fashion benefit in Minnesota, and there were so many models. And you see models on TV and you see them in the magazine, but to see them in real life, I'm like, holy hell, you are gorgeous.
Yeah.
There's a reason models are models. I mean, Jen's a model. She's gorgeous.
Thank you.
But to see them, and they're so tall, and they just they stop you in your place, kind of.
Yes.
I mean, I don't go to places where there's tons of models.
I walked
normally,
into
so I was wow,
a Starbucks on Oak Lawn when we had our office over there, and Renee Russo was in the Starbucks.
What?
And I've always thought she was pretty and everything. I loved her movies, but she just took my breath away. And she knew she was doing it. Like, she looked at me and smiled and everything. I guess it's her sport or something, but she kind of
I'm sure she wasn't doing it to you. She probably was just existing in the world.
No. I'm telling you, she acknowledged me
really?
and smiled and kind of laughed. She saw that I was just kind of overwhelmed by her when I saw her. And she was just gorgeous.
See, when I lived in LA, I lived there for 4 years. What we were like, the culture you learn right away is if you see a celebrity, act like they're nobody, ignore them, act like, or else you will be very unpopular. So we learned how to do that. But here in Dallas, they're so, far and few. We don't see them that often, and people are like, I'm sure as a celebrity, when you're in New York, you're in LA, you're used to being ignored because that's the polite, that's what you do. But then you come to like Dallas or whatever, and people are gawking, and you forget you're famous. I bet.
You remember when we officed in Center Plaza, right? There was a health food store, and I you
already told the story.
Oh, it told it online.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I guess I won't tell it again.
It's a good one. Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, seeking help.
Yes, holidays can be great. It can also be a lonely time where you struggle with mental health. And so Jenny's going to tell us how, if you're feeling lonely, we actually created this show. We wanted to have create a space for people to feel like they could have a family or fit in somewhere and not be alone. And tell us how.
And focus on community.
Right.
But if you are seeking help, there's the Hope for the Holidays through the Catholic Charities Program. Their phone number 866-223-7500. I didn't know this, but you can text or call 211. I mean, I've heard of 911, but I didn't know of 211. Yeah, 211. Or you can text your zip code to 898-211. And then to connect with local resources for food, housing, and financial assistance.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. No, it wasn't on the show. You did it in my living room.
Yeah.
So go. And action.
Yeah. We can always cut. Don't forget that. Okay, so
we're going to come back to
get back to the groove of this. They got to get back in it. In Snyder Plaza, we were talking about running into people. I went down to the health food store to do it fairly regularly. Is a fairly regular thing. Opened up the door. And I look up, this guy looks up at me with kind of long hair, and it was Steven Tyler. And he goes, "Hey, man, do you know where I can buy some vitamins?" I swear he said it just like you would on a show or something. And there was nobody in the store, but before I could open my mouth and say something, like 3 people came out of nowhere and started helping him. Like, I'm like, where do these people come from?
Wow.
And I wish I had said, "Walk this way," because that's like his song, "Walk This Way."
Walk
but
this way.
I didn't think of that fast. But anyway, it was just shocking. It was kind of like when I ran into Renee Russo. I wasn't expecting to open the door and see Steven Tyler, but he was just right there. And then he looks at me and starts talking to me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Is he little or tall?
He's tiny. Little. He's tiny. Yeah, I was shocked. I mean, I
wonder what size his leather pants are.
I know, right?
What'd you say?
His leather pants. I wonder what size they are.
Yeah, he had. They're tiny. I mean,
I'm sure they are.
He is really. I was shocked how small he was, but super nice. Just he's a great personality. And I did hear on the radio after that he was in Dallas for treatment for. He has a chronic
hepatitis C.
Yeah, right. Thank you. Yes,
because I Googled it after we talked about it. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Research.
Good. Yeah, I appreciate
that.
that.
Good job, Jen.
Thanks. I'm kind of catching up with the 2 pros here.
Yeah, well, you're leading the way. You're doing good.
Thank you.
Okay, Toys for Tots, Meals on Wheels America, Salvation Army.
This is where
and then 988's the suicide hotline. So the biggest ones I thought were the 211 for housing, financial assistance, food resources, and then if you're contemplating suicide because holidays are hard, maybe it's taking you to a dark place, then 988 is the
you're not
suicide
alone. You're not
hotline.
alone. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're never alone. It's never the end.
No, keep just one more day.
Yeah, and I would say if you know anybody that is struggling in any way, think of them during that. Try to include them on something. That's so important. As we go to our families and have our things to do, to think of people that maybe don't have any family here and try to include them. I think it's super, super important. And we were talking about giving. That's really a great gift. We lost a really good friend on Christmas a year ago. I don't want to get into the details about it, but I wish I had called her and invited her to our family, or so that might not have happened,
Yeah. Longer tables for sure.
Yep.
I mean, I love noise and I love chaos. So I'm always like, come. My parents are like, just kidding.
It's true.
They're like, Yelston. Just kidding. They're sweet, but no, everyone's great. So yeah, if you can be there for someone, just like we were saying before, I mean, if you have something to give, no matter if it's food or clothing or blankets or time, energy, hugs.
True.
However it goes. So we didn't want to forget this kind of our spirit of giving without talking about just if you are struggling and you don't talk about it and you don't tell anybody about it, then there are resources for you to do in your own time.
That's so true.
Yeah. So
Well, one thing I would love for us to do is just as friends in a group collectively is keep your eyes peeled for great Christmas directions. I've got a album, like I've gone out and photographed a lot of the really cool through the years. And if y'all want, I'll post some of it during this episode, since we are talking about
for what?
Christmas, just of houses that are,
yeah.
like what's the one that has?
No, Highland Park is so good.
When University Park on Southwestern, they have the one with big text.
The Santa house. Yeah, the Santa house.
That's
on
just crazy
Southwestern.
what all's going on there.
It is so creative and cool.
It is, yeah. But
I just like the one on McFarland and Preston with all the white dangly ones.
Oh, so there's so many different
there's so many different ones.
Design.
And then
it's
there's like
cool.
the tradition. There's like the big house that has the Bevo statue.
So cool.
And there's what's fun, whether you think you'd participate or not, but these blocks are doing like a homogeneous decorations like Candy Cane Lane or the snowflakes. So you drive down the whole block. I think maybe they just like get a discount, like do every house on the block. What it'll charge, and maybe they're like block associations now or something.
Probably an HOA or something. Yeah.
I don't think there's HOAs in Highland Park unless you're like
saying
I think they just all
it's just like a block. Yeah, there's probably like a leader on the block, and they're like,
for sure.
I'll make the phone calls, like Venmo me, whatever.
When some people spend
but it's so cute. I love like
doing that.
The Snowflake Lane.
Oh, how cool! Where's Snowflake Lane?
I think it's one of those by Armstrong Elementary, like one of those streets.
Cool.
Anyway. Yeah. So it is kind of fun. I mean, I don't know if I'd be a bah humbug. It's kind of funny because you'll see like on the street, you'll go down all the houses, they decide on a color scheme or they decide on like something extra. And then there's that one house.
That's like,
that puts up the blue.
Yeah.
And then like a Grinch outside. And you're like, so, sometimes it is pleasing when, everybody joins in. But it is kind of funny because you're like, I bet you're not invited.
Correlation between how well people are doing financially and how extravagant the lighting is every year. It's sort of like, we talk about vibism and
totally,
people vibing on Christmas decorations depending on what they're feeling that year and how they're doing.
Yeah.
I think it does manifest itself some in that way.
Absolutely.
I haven't put up my lights yet.
I have a dog, my sweet dad got my daughter and I this like big dog from Home Depot wearing a Santa hat, and he lights up, and then I put ornaments in the bushes on the, and I'm almost done, and we're doing the elf. Y'all don't do elf, do you? Where you can't touch the elf. So they're just the traditions. They're just so fun.
They are so fun.
What are some of your favorite holiday movies? I mean, I'm sure we all have some standards, but do you have any of your movies you go to?
A Christmas Carol.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's a Wonderful Life.
Wonderful Life's my favorite.
So good.
Jeremy Stewart.
Jeremy Stewart. And I love the one about sisters.
Yeah, White Christmas.
White Christmas. There were never such devoted sisters.
You know, when I was in my 20s, I had a really tight group of friends. And I don't know if you have kids in their 20s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or do they get together and do a lot of things as groups? Because we did that a ton in my generation. I don't get the feeling that goes on as much as it used to. I could be wrong, but I'm asking.
Do y'all ever stop and think? I don't know. I don't think it does. Does it?
What do you mean? Like a bunch of guys go out, or a bunch of couples go out?
Let me give you a for instance. Like,
because
one thing for when I first got out of college, I lived probably a year or two in a back house that my parents had, which was great that I had that opportunity to save up some money. I was just getting going in real estate and everything, and wanted to, not overspend and be on commission. And I had this white Christmas party, and if I didn't do it, some other friend would do it. And we would all get together and watch White Christmas, and there'd be 30 or 40 of us.
Love it.
And we'd be dancing. We're all single at the time.
I don't know that my son has any group movie nights with a bunch of dudes. I'm just kidding.
I think that's the
what
best
makes you think it's a bunch of
idea.
dudes?
Oh, because you said a group of us. So you mean couples?
No, I mean single people, like women and men.
You're making it sound. I thought it was just
love
like
that idea. We should do that after we're going to Evolve on Thursday.
I don't know that Alex. I don't know that they have movie nights. They usually go do something.
We did too. But this was just one thing that we did. But I just gave us an example. It wasn't what we did all the time. But we were always getting together as groups, And I just don't get the sense. I don't see that as much in this day and age. Maybe social media has something to do with that.
Well, they have their phones and they get connected that way.
That's kind of a shame.
It is a shame. I think we need to have a movie night on this Thursday after we go to Evolve. We're going to a spa sauna, Evolve on Mockingbird Lane. It has dry saunas, like cold plunge, and then we should all watch White Christmas.
Yeah.
I love White Christmas.
What was the other movie? Didn't we have another movie that we were talking about last night?
Elf?
No, we brought up another movie. I can't remember what it was.
Was it a Christmas movie or just a movie in general?
Was.
A Cocoon.
That's what it was. Cocoon.
Thursday after the spa, we're watching Cocoon or White Christmas.
We got to watch because you keep talking about it. I know. I want us to watch it.
I do too.
I like Cold Mountain. My Christmas movies, Cold Mountain, Gone with the Wind.
Mm-hmm.
We forget that Gone with the Wind.
The Holiday. I started making Christmas Eve Alfredo because on the holiday they make Christmas Eve Alfredo. So I do sun-dried tomatoes, some basil, and then just normal chicken Alfredo. But then that adds the Christmas colors. So that's what we've been having every Christmas Eve. Now I think on the 23rd, I saw the cutest, like steak salads.
Yes.
Where there's steak. And then there's like blue cheese, bacon, and then lettuce. So, but they did it flat instead of in the wedge so that they were like lettuce bowls. And then you put the steak, bacon, and blue cheese
like a wrap,
in there.
sort of.
And then you make it like a Christmas tree, the lettuce wraps. It's
Love
so
that.
cute. And then everybody has like little
Sounds
open face
delicious.
sandwiches. I like to have themed meals
I
like
love that.
leading up to Christmas.
I don't think Helen Corbett did this.
I still don't know who she is, but she's a legacy.
If you look her up, she was very famous. I think they even... Excuse me?
Four.
She was the chef we were talking about at Neiman's.
At Zodiac. She created Zodiac, or she started
Well, no,
it?
she was this famous chef that Stanley Marcus hired to do the menu for that. Then he sold her cookbooks, and she had a restaurant in town. I can't remember the name of it. And she was very, very famous.
So did she consult on the menu, or was she an actual chef there?
No, I mean she was like internationally famous.
Oh, I see. So she was a
so it was like bringing in a celebrity chef
cool.
She had these cookbooks, like my mother had them. Like I think I still have some at home that just had all her recipes, kind of like a Paula Deen in this day and age, or who are some of the top chefs that people cook their recipes. Paula Deen comes to mind. Like
she's great.
Yeah. She's hilarious. Let's put some bacon fat in it.
What happened to Rachel Ray? I've seen some
she's another great example.
Well, I've seen some tea. Google her right now, please, Bill. Will you please Google Rachel Ray?
Yeah,
because there's some tea on her. Like there was like pictures, and like when people are whatever jealous or gossipy, they're Rachel Ray. But something's going on with her, and I forget what. Let's look it up. Because I loved Rachel Ray. I had the Rachel Ray cookbook.
The same. and Jamie Oliver. I mean, yeah, when
Rachel
the cooking
Ray
show.
is currently working on new shows after her talk show ended, including Meals in Minutes and Rachel Ray in Tuscany.
I love her. I love her
Sounds
energy. I love her everything. I think she's awesome. What a good story. She got her start standing in for someone else on, I think, the A&E, the cooking show, and just stepped in, and then there you go.
Well, Helen Corbett, I'm sure, was an inspiration to her,
Right.
But Helen Corbett was big. I mean, like we ate her meals all the time. And that was one reason I love, yes, we talked about going in the other episode, going back to the Zodiac Room. And I wasn't expecting this. Sort of like at Goff's Hamburgers. Is it still over on?
Is it? I don't know.
I don't know.
He had such a personality.
Well, the son was kind of a, what starts with an A. But the father was really very loving. And I mean, Harvey Goff was notorious for doing crazy things.
Oh, like if someone was rude to him, I said I wanted a Diet Coke. He'd get a bag, put a Diet Coke in the bag, put a straw in, and give it to him.
Oh, he would shortchange me.
They had the Stalin statue out front.
Yeah, he did that.
My dad walked in with, I guess he called him a hippie and told him to get out of his store. Because in the 70s, but Dad's hair was just like,
why did he have a Stalin statue?
He wasn't even like.
Well, he was just a kind of a right wing crazy guy, and who knows what his politics were, but his father had that, one thing I've always wanted to do is like for some show, I want us to talk about how we spent our weekends as kids.
We did that, right?
No.
Malls.
Well, I don't think we ever,
donuts.
we sort of talked about it, but
he wants minute by minute, play by play.
Well, I don't think do you remember? I don't remember telling y'all what I did on Saturday.
You said you would have a huge breakfast and then your dad would go buy a steak and then you would eat all the steak.
Yeah, you're right.
Sunday.
And that was on the air though, right?
To church. Yes, it was on the air.
Well, we'd go to Goff's, and it was over on Lovers.
Bill, I know you're so excited to talk all the time, but our time is over.
Is it really?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, thank you. And it's a wrap. Hey guys, don't forget, like and subscribe if you like it.
Please.
Oh, and have a Merry Christmas.
Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy
And
New Year.
We'll talk resolutions
Yeah.
and
Bye.
2026.
Merry
and
Christmas,
all
happy
the best
holidays
things.
to all.
Holidays.